eyes gently open, and we're going to start with a few little forward bends. So you can get one brick or two, and we'll lean forward from the hip and just walking forward. Head can come down, lengthening out. I like to just kind of wiggle away from my hips. Press the weight back into the heels. I'm breathing there. Good. Walk it around the world to one side. Lengthen out. And walk it around the world to the other side. And lengthening out. Stretching through those fingertips. Good. Coming back to center. Good. So we'll take our little mini band now. Pop it around our right foot. And come back. And holding the band now with the palms facing you. Pull down on the toes and then push up into the band. Okay, so we want to feel now that the kneecap is really engaged. So I've been teaching a version of this sequence all week to all of my in-person classes in London. And oh my gosh, my quads are so sore. When I was thinking about, oh my gosh, I've got to film my express flow today, I was like, oh my gosh, my legs. So one way that we make our knees stronger is by working the quads. Right? So the quads are the muscles that keep the kneecaps lifting, and they keep the joint itself stable. So the better we are at activating our quads, the healthier and stronger our knees are going to feel. Good. Then you're just going to hold with the right hand and just pull it down into that half happy baby, push it up and down. And you're just bending. And I'm just doing a little bit of external rotation from my hip up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Good. And you're going to pull down on that toe, holding there. And crossing the leg over. We're going to keep a little natural curve in the low back. Think about externally rotating, pressing the knee away, and then we're going to pull up and in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Keeping that nice flat low belly. Good. Back of the ribs really heavy. Good. And just pull it in. Hold the front of the shin or back of the thigh. And if you're new to yoga, if you're new to mobility work, try to focus on breathing through your nose, if you can, with the mouth closed. Good. Release and change. Taking the band now around the left foot. We'll start to activate and work that kneecap now. So pulling down and pushing up. So pull and press. Now, if you don't have a mini band, you could always do this with a yoga strap. You could do this with a towel. Right? I love this work because it doesn't take a ton of equipment, to work our joints through their full ranges and really work on strengthening and stabilizing the joints through just small movements like this. Just pressing up, lifting the thigh, all 4 corners of your kneecap lifting, muscles hugging to the bone. Good, and then we'll pull down and press up. So a little bit of that rotation now. So I'm just rotating my thigh bone out. You might feel a little bit of kind of the hamstrings rubbing against each other, right? So that the connective tissue, the fascia between the hamstrings can get really sticky. I feel mine does a lot, and this one will help to just let the different hamstrings glide a little bit easier. Down. You might even hear mine. I don't know if you can. I can hear mine gliding. Or lack thereof gliding. Pull down. Good. And then cross over. Okay, open that knee out. Good. So external rotation and then pulling up and down. I'm just tapping that heel down, up and down as I go. Good. Come in and you can then grab the back of the thigh, front of the shin, holding there. Notice if your low back is kind of pushed on the floor. In order to get that nice broadening of the gluteal flesh, if we allow the tailbone to roll forward to a slight anterior tilt, we're going to get that broadness in the glutes. Fantastic. Slowly release. Okay, now we're going to get bricks in a mini band. Okay, so now you'll get your yoga bricks. We're going to go end to end here. You could also stack them like this as well. So depending on how your hip extension is today, you might find you want to have your bricks lower. But otherwise, we're going to get them right up. Oh, I should have said, put the band on first and then put the bricks. So band around the thighs. Right up there to the thighs, like that. And then tailbone up. Okay, so now we're in this high bridge. And arms under. Good. So we're first just going to start by just doing some press out. So the right side is going to press out. If you have one of those fabric bands, this works really good here versus a rubber one. And you're just going to do these pressing out, and we're working the hip and the knee. Out, out, out. Good, straight to the other side, 10 presses. Good, pull your right foot under as much as you can. So we're trying to open up this right thigh, and then now you're going to push out from there. Good, then hug the inner thigh to the midline, tailbone long, back of the leg engaged, top of that foot up towards the shoulder. Good, release. And then left side, pulling it under to whatever point you can, right? When we're doing mobility work, you go to the point that your body will allow, where you can breathe, and then again, 10 here. Good, and stretching that knee forward. And release. Good, lift the hips, lowering down. You can remove the band, giving yourself a little squeeze, and we'll rock up into all fours position. Okay, so coming into our all fours. So what we're going to do next is you're going to sit. Okay, so I know for a lot of us, sitting on our ankles is really painful. Okay, I get that. I hear from lots of students. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the bricks if you're feeling any pain. Okay, and you're going to use the bricks to push down, and we're going to squeeze those glutes up, down, and then you're going to see if you can lift the knees an inch. Just a tiny little bit to kind of stretch the feet too. Up, squeeze, press, little lift. Up to squeeze, little lift. 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7. Good, last one. 8. Good, come forward with the hands. Good, right leg is going to stretch back, keep the pelvis level. Good, we're going to lift and extend the hip and squeeze the heel to the bum, stretching down. So we're doing hip extension, knee flexion, out and in. Keeping that hamstring really engaged, pull, back, up, pull, back, up, pull. One more here, up, pull. Good, straight to the other side, extending the hip back, ribs in, and up, pull, 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 pull. Good, 2 more, pull, getting that hamstring warmed up, pull. Good, back to the right side. We're going to cross and open and some lean back. Little interior tilt. Feel the pelvis is slightly tilting forward. 2, 3. Now as you go back, seeing what this movement feels like, you can have a brick ready to go to sit your bum back. And forward. Little interior tilt. Want to spread that gluteal crease. Spread the gluteal flesh apart. And back. One more of those. And 1, 2, 3. Either onto the bum or onto a brick. Hands are going to walk over to the left side. Stretching out. And over to the right. Good, coming forward, press off, and uncross. Good, if you have any sensitivity in your knees, remember you can always use knee pads or roll your mat. Take a little pillow under the knees here. Okay, left leg. Okay, 3 times back, 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 and sitting. Good, coming forward, press back, 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 and sit. Good, 1 more time. Forward, back, back, sit. Good, taking it around the world here, over to one side and stretching. And over to the other. Good, coming forward, uncross, grabbing a yoga brick. Okay, taking it up. All right, so now we're going to go into our leans. This is one of the best ways I find to strengthen the knees and the thighs, right, without doing heavy lifting. So your tailbone is down, thighs engaged, belly lifted, ribs in, holding your brick out in front of you. Nice strong bum. Good, and you're going to lean back and up. So if you're new to this movement, it might look like this, right? If you've been doing these for a while, you might challenge yourself. I've been doing a lot of these, so my legs are really feeling it. Good. Last 2. Last 1. Good, sit onto the heels, holding there, and breathing. Okay, we'll add on to this now. Okay, so now we'll go with a brick squeeze. So really using those arms. I find this really helps to activate the core as well. So we're going to lean it back. We're going to go forward, bend, and then we're going to hinge, sit, and going into whatever range of motion is available to you. Coming up, knee under you. So we do a lean. A step through, knees forward of toes. A sit back onto the heel. Up and under. Lean. Step. Sit. And under. Leaning back. Step knee forward of toes. Sitting back onto the heel to whatever variation is available to you. You could always do this with hands down. And back under. Good. One more round. And we lean. And step. Sit. And under. Good. One more time. We lean. Step. Sit back. And under. Very nice. Placing the brick down. Okay, so this is a little trick I find is really helpful to get a good close with the knee when we want to flex the knee 100%. Okay, so you're going to bring the big toes to touch. Take your thumbs to the back of the knees. And you're going to open up the calves. Okay, you're going to roll the calf flesh out. Okay, and I want you to just come into this position. Let's bring arms forward. With the calves rolled out. And I want you to get your bum to your heels. If you can do this comfortably, you might feel a little discomfort, but if you can be here, then you're going to push the weight back into this child pose. And you're going to not let your bum leave your heels. This is how we improve range of motion. And you're going to walk out to the point where you can keep your bum back towards your heels. As soon as your bum lifts, that's where you stop. Then you can put the head onto a support to hold you there. And over time, you'll be able to come down if you slowly work this. Excuse me. Fantastic. Down dog, let's just stretch it all back. We're going to walk it to the back of our mat, roll up, and grab our chair. So now I'll get my chair, and I'm going to get my little green band here. Excuse me. And we're going to pop it over our right foot. Okay, so sitting nice and tall. As you can see, I'm sat quite far away just to lengthen this lever. Okay, and then we're going to do these presses. Out. Excuse me, out. Press. Out. 6, 8, 9. Try to do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Second side. And taking it around. And this is a great way to work the thighs, right, without having to have heavy gym equipment. Right? So there's always a way that we can create the same conditions, right, for the muscles using resistance bands. Okay, and again, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sitting nice and tall. 6. Right here in this quad. Probably feel it in your flexors as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Okay, release. Now back to this right leg. Sitting nice and tall. Try not to press your ribs forward. Have that down. And you're going to lift the knee past your hip. So hip flexion, knee extension, flex and down. Up, out, down. Up, out, down. It's also working the low core. Two more. One more. Good. Lean forward. Just cross it over. Lean. Spread those glutes apart. You can stretch it forward. You can also sit back. Catch hold of the chair. Pull yourself forward. Good. Coming up. And we'll do that on the other leg. Okay, so left side now, sitting nice and tall. We're going to flex that hip without moving into a posterior tilt, right? This is compensating for the lack of movement in the hip. So we're going to keep that everything nice and lifted and up, out, 1. Try to stretch it straight. Try to extend your knee fully. 3. 4. 5. 6. 8. Good. Cross it. Lean it forward. You can sit back a little bit now. Now you want to let the hips go forward, right? So we want to do the hinging action. Forward. You might reach down, catching the chair. Good. Coming up. Okay. And releasing that. So I'm just going to move this chair out the way. We're going to finish with a little bit of work in Virasana. So you might find now that you're going to have 1 or 2 bricks. And we'll come into Virasana. So hand to the back of the knee. And again, opening up. And if you want to test, right, and just see, how are you with this movement, right? We've done lots of knee stuff. See how this feels, right? If it's painful to sit, then you're going to use a brick, right? If it's not, then you're going to sit and you're going to work on that range of motion. And then we're going to inhale and stretch up. Exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, center. Work those ribs up and twist. Back, one more. Twist. And back. Good. Right leg forward. Good. You could use your little mini band. You could use a yoga strap. But again, you just want that nice hip hinging forward. Stretching forward over the leg. Lifting the thighs. Good. Coming up and changing. So outer ankle in line with the outer hip. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinging over that leg. Going forward. Good. Up. Release back into Virasana for a moment. To letting the eyes close. And then tuck the toes down, dog, stretch back. And then we'll walk forward, coming onto our back for our Shavasana. So well done, everyone, for joining in today, for working your knees, getting curious about the ranges of motion, right? Just kind of ask yourself now, I always like to do this after my practice. Were there any limiting beliefs that came up, right? Anything that I'm holding on to about my joints that just isn't true anymore? And if there is, the more that we go into these movements and we try and we do the movement, even though there's that uncertainty, even though we're unsure, even though we don't trust ourselves 100%, that's new information, right? That the brain is collecting and then sending back to those tissues. And then we'll start to see a difference, right? And how these tissues feel. So just keep going. And now we'll let the eyes close. Spread across the back chest. Really let go in the legs. And then enjoying these last few minutes of stillness. Starting now to deepen your breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes. Rolling over to one side and having a pause here. And then we'll come up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands over the heart or to our chest. Sitting nice and tall. And just bowing our heads to our hearts in gratitude for this time that we have to practice together, to move together, to breathe together, to work on the health of our joints so that our knees feel happy, they feel healthy and strong. And we'll finish with one Om today, taking a big inhale. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And if you're new around here, I'm Erin. I've been teaching yoga for over 10 years, and I love adding resistance band and mobility work to our practice to really look after our joints long term and really see progress within our mobility. And if you get a moment, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are looking to really do more targeted work for your joints, I'd love to have you join us in the online studio. The link is in the bio where you can check out hundreds of classes on demand, as well as 2 live stream classes a week. So I'd love to invite you into our online community.